you this in. Ooh, that part, not so thrilled.
Well, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. I am Gayle Nicholson, your creative command coaching and consulting expert, your dragon slayer crone, your word witch, whatever the fuck name you want for me. That's who I can be. All right, to my side, we have Miss Krista Ducharme with Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook, our traveling Krista crone and all-around woo-woo definiator. Welcome, Krista. How are you today?
Hey, I am just rocking it. The energy is so fabulous. It's really bubbly and really like opening up, and there's so much going on. I do have something I'm supposed to share with everybody who's here from Tracy. She's watching us, so drive safely, Tracy. She's on her way up to Maine. So she wanted me to say hello to everybody. Hello to you, Gayle. And she's like, any comment she'd make, if Kevin shows up, just know she's making the comments. They just may not be showing up. And she's talking away in the car. So,
awesome.
But yeah, no.
Hopefully she's in the passenger seat. Somebody else is driving, right?
No. Actually, she's in the driver's seat. That's why she can't message back and forth. She actually is headed to Maine to go and drop whoopie pies off for Magic Hat at the Footlight Theater in Portland.
Ooh,
they ordered,
nice.
Yeah, they ordered for this month whoopie pies, and she's naming curtain call cookies. And yeah, they're really amazing. They're like the kitchen sink. So Magic Hat is off doing magic.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Bringing gastrointestinal miracles to the masses.
Yep. So, it is. There's a lot of really cool things, opportunities. Oh, I stand corrected. It's in Falmouth, Maine. There are lots of really cool opportunities that have been happening for Magic Hat, as well as me, Dimensional Healing, with Krista. And so I'll be sharing some of those things coming up. And then and for you as well. So the energy just kind of is like really, I think, amazing.
Well, I think Gregory honestly, everything has really opened up. Yeah. Gregory also.
Yeah, it really has.
The energy just seems to have opened up since about a week or so ago. I think, whether it was solstice, I mean, we had a whole bunch of little things happen right around solstice that has just broken the can of whoop ass wide open. I know you've got phenomenal things coming up. This Sunday coming up, I'm going to be at the Orchard Air Makers Market in the lot just north of the Applebaum on US Route 7 South between Bennington and North Adams, Massachusetts, right along that road. You'll see me there with my Easy Up reading tarot. So I've decided that I'm going to do either a 3-card pull for $20 or a 5-card energy of the month for probably about $30, or a 10-card reading for $50. So if you are in the area and want to get your cards read, come on out on Sunday between noon and 4, and I would love to see you. And
something you should also do is put up a way that they can actually book an appointment ahead of time with you.
You know what? That's a great idea.
Yeah. So then they know exactly when it is that they need to be at that tent.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah, because that's it. I mean, you can do it through Eventbrite, or just have them email you.
My systems are already in place with Calendly, so
Oh,
we'll
then
go the
yeah,
simple way. No
yeah,
need to
use that.
reinvent the wheel today.
Nope, no need to reinvent the wheel. So no, I am going to be doing crystal singing bowl meditation experiences at the Smith Blueberry Farm in New Ipswich, New Hampshire. And I need to confirm with Lori, but I believe the first one, they're all going to be in alignment with the full moon for this month and for next month. And then in September, you and I, we need to confirm a time to make sure we're going to be doing, remember the meetup I was talking about at the same blueberry farm, Smith's Blueberry Farm. It is. And we're going to go rock hounding on the property and sleuthing for gold.
Mm-hmm.
And because Lori, the owner, the proprietor, has invited us to come up and do a meetup. So we're going to, Gayle and I didn't mean to throw her out there and surprise her completely. I don't have a date yet. We need to come up with a date that works. And then I do believe we're going to have Magic Hat supply lunches for those who want lunches. And we'll make it a nice day for
Beautiful.
those.
Now let me clarify. You and I will be doing this, but we're inviting people to come with us, and they must be there ahead of time so that Magic Hat can make their lunchbox, right?
Exactly. And it's going to be for all our I was going to say the Coven of Joy, who would like to come and play and meet up with us. I will try to get the date out. You and I will bring our calendars together, and we'll get the date out sooner rather than later. I'll make sure it's aligned with also Lori. I wanted to make sure it was after her blueberry picking season, so that because she wants to come and play and participate, and she's going to be our escort around the property, if you will. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And then we'll have a fun day. We'll make a day of it. We'll do
now remind me what she's got. She's got gold and garnets, right?
Gold, garnets, amethyst, tons of quartz, and probably a variety, I'm going to guess, of other things.
Awesome.
Because I didn't, and Micah, I mean, she was just showing us some rocks, because Tracy and I went the other day, and she was showing us rocks that were just full of all kinds of stuff. And so, and it's going to be a fun day. It won't necessarily, it'll be I think a great fall meetup.
Lovely. I can't wait, especially since September's my birthday.
That's right. And it's a month before my birthday, but I figure maybe we can do something. Maybe we'll celebrate your birthday as well.
Maybe. That'd be awesome. That'd be so much fun. I'm so excited about all the things that we are going to be doing going forward. Y'all should be in these planning meetings that Krista and I are having, because it's like the popcorn is popping, and we're like, oh, how can we do a cruise? How can we dig for this? How can we go do that? And we just want to bring all of these events and experiences to you, the Coven of Joy, because we want to do it ourselves.
Yeah. and it's a lot more fun doing it with others than just by ourselves. So definitely. And we need to look more about the cruise so we can give people
ample
a nice lead time to make that happen. So you and I will have to, the cruises I'm looking at the moment are heading more towards cold, not warm. So.
Oh yeah. No, let me answer this for a second. Sue, lemon blueberry, please. I'm not a big cake fan, but lemon blueberry is just like to die for. It's so good. So that's my favorite. But one of the things that we'll take a look at is there's a company that I've been watching for a number of years called Vacations to Go. And they have some really good prices on cruises. All right.
Okay.
And for example, I was looking at a 6-day cruise in March of 2025 that would go from one of the Fort somethings in maybe it was Fort Myers in Florida to a Caribbean island and then back over to another Caribbean island before it goes home. So it's just a little triangle, just above the Bermuda Triangle. Warm climate in March, and it's under $700.
Nice.
Yeah. So we will look into where we can get you the warmest, most beautiful scenery for the least amount of money, and come play with us. Okay.
Exactly. And so, I know that also when we just kind of figure it out, from the people I know who do group bookings, especially for events, in which we will be as an event, it becomes that becomes its own animal, if you will. And so, we need to find the location, find the cruise lines, and then reach out and figure out which one's going to work best for our needs.
Yes.
I can speak to the fact that I've cruised on Holland America. I know Mama Crone has cruised on Royal Caribbean. For me, Royal Caribbean are way too big.
Okay.
And so I am the person who likes a smaller ship, which is why Holland America has always appealed to us. I would like it smaller than that, frankly.
Admit it, Krista. You just want to be on the Caribbean in a yacht of your own, okay?
Okay, yeah. Seriously, I would be really happy doing that. However,
that's perfect. Oh,
it is. I mean, I'll admit it. I even know how to crew. So there you go.
I do not really, really well.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah, no, I grew up on sailboats, so.
Oh my gosh. At one point, I dated a guy who sails, right? And I was throwing up a hammock between a couple of trees, and I may set my knots and stuff, and he walks over and he looks at the knots and he looks at me like, where the hell did you learn how to do this? You know, I tie good knots, but it wasn't from sailing that I learned.
Hey, you never know when you need to know how to tie a very good knot.
Right?
There are many purposes in lives that good knots come in handy.
That is so true. Well, let's actually get into this little next section here, because we got some really, really cool stuff to talk about. But before I do, I've already put up 3 comments from Sue. Want to say hi to Mama Crone with Class Act Imports. Thanks so much for being here again this week. And check this out. Awesome. All right. So for today, the waning moon is in Taurus. However, the moon is coming in. The new moon is coming in Friday, July 5th. All right. And that's going to be in Cancer. All right. So this new moon is about feeling all the feels, all of them. Okay, so what's going to be important for us is in doing this new moon work, and what feels we want to appreciate, to grow, to become more involved in our lives. We want to focus on those things that make us feel loved and accepted and appreciated and secure, right? So that we actually call those things in. So for any incidents and details about what you can be doing during your new moon work, to utilize the house that the moon may be in, the sign that the moon may be in, please reach out to us in the group, and we will give you some help and some homework, if you will, on what to do to make the new moon work for you. All right. Krista's working behind the scenes there.
I'm working behind the scenes. You caught me. I thought I turned down the volume.
Yeah, I had mine turned down. Yeah. So I know, Miss Krista, that you were looking at some stuff going on too, right?
I have been.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to share it, but I thought I'd wait and share it. Here, I'm going to pull it up so I quote correctly. But essentially, we're also going to, as of today, until December 8th, I think, or 9th? 7th, okay, which is also in history a date that will go down in infamy.
Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor Day. Hey, you know, I was hoping we had some history buffs here. So other than you and I, right?
I was fangirling at the tour of the USS Constitution. Okay.
Yes, you totally were. You totally were fangirling it. I have to say, and it's awesome.
It had nothing to do with the men in uniform.
Well, you know, they were just the eye candy. You know, that's all good stuff. It doesn't matter that they were young enough to be, you know, our kids. They just were adorable. What can I say? All right. In any case, back to what's happening right now before I get myself in really big trouble. All righty.
I just need some people to reach things for me and bend over. Oh, wait, reach things. Yeah.
Bye. I love you. Be safe. Kevin is leaving. I've driven him out of the house.
Sorry, Kevin.
No. He's actually leaving because he has to go get his dad for a doctor's appointment.
Other handsome man in uniforms. Forgive me, Sue.
No, not my dad. His dad.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry.
Wrong dad. So in any case, I can't find him at the moment because, you know, my phone is doing what it wants to do. However, Neptune has gone in retrograde.
Okay.
And retrograde, you know, with this one being in retrograde, all these awesome things, I've been reading all this amazing stuff. So it is really kind of cool that this energy has lightened up. And one of the things about this energy that kind of is sticking out for me is it's like, this is the time to really express your dreams and really bring them to life and really bring yourself to life, you know, not to get confused with, you know, that song. I can't think of it. In any case, it'll come to me. I'm having a buffering moment about the song. And then I thought I would make a punny that just fell flat. It's all good. That happened. So for me, what really, like I said, stood out was with the Neptune being in retrograde between now and December 7th, it is about us getting out of our own way. It's about us really stepping into what it is that we're wanting to do or meant to do. We have a tendency to get in our own way. Has anybody noticed that?
Not me. Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, never have I done that.
Right. Okay. No one else has.
And as my nose grows with that, I'll carry on. So no, this is that.
A lot of powder for that nose, woman.
Yeah, exactly right. So this is that's what I'm getting from this whole thing. And of course, for me, what's really cool is, all right, so think about it. Today is July 2nd. Of course, yesterday, that meant the 1st, the beginning of the new month. For us here in the United States, our Independence Day is here on the 4th. And so that is kind of a really cool, it's like, this is interesting. This, Neptune going into retrograde on the 2nd. The 1st being about new beginnings. The 2nd being about getting out of your own way. The 4th being about independence. And then the 5th is
the new moon.
Which is about planting the seeds that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the synchronicity of all of this is amazing. And the release, I don't know, I know that you and I were talking about it. I just feel like that things have opened up.
Yeah.
And things, and it was like, I could feel it coming. Mm-hmm. I could feel, and I keep saying to Gregory, I'm like, hey, Gregory, you need to get your house you need to get things in order, get your house in order, because things are going to start happening again, and it's going to happen rapidly. And that's what he's been finding as well. These synchronicities all lining up. And so for those of you who want to know what woo-woo is, that's woo-woo. Yeah. The synchronicities that you can't necessarily explain, but you see that they're suddenly all happening one right after another.
Mm-hmm. And that's one way to see that. Yes, definitely. The synchronicities that are happening one right after the other. And it's also how everything is kind of connected behind the physical matter, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's so hard to put into words, but that's a great way to look at that.
By the way, 22, when we were just finishing that about a great way of looking at it, it was 22.
Yes. Excellent.
Another thing, the numbers. So, the numbers play into it. Yeah. They're just, so many messages. Please continue as I, interrupt.
No, not at all. And I want to like solidify that bit that you just did, because it's the numbers. It's everything that we go, there's something going on here. And then when you try to explain it, it makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Exactly. Right.
But you just know, right? Yeah. I've been a lot lately. I've been like looking at the tablet and 1111, make a wish, and I'll say it out loud, or, that kind of thing. I've been doing that kind of thing with numbers a lot the other day, or lately. One day, I think it was last Tuesday, maybe, I mentioned 1111, make a wish, and then 222 popped up, 333 popped up, something else, someone else popped in with 444. I had seen 555 earlier in the morning when I was getting ready. I mean, I did all 1 through 5 in one day, triple digits or double digits. And that's, that was amazing. And I think that was right around 629. And if I'm not mistaken, 629 is when Saturn went retrograde in Pisces, right? So now we have Saturn retrograde in Pisces as well as Neptune retrograde in Pisces. All right. So I think the brakes got taken off with Saturn retrograde in Pisces, because if we remember all the lovely things that Damaris taught us about Saturn, he's the daddy discipline. He's the great taskmaster. He's the rules and regulations, right, of the planets. This is how it's supposed to go, right? And we assign that daddy energy because mom energy is unconditional loving. You can do anything and I will still love you. Daddy energy is, you do wrong, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it's explained. Yeah.
For the most part, right? Yeah, there's going to be consequences. If you do something wrong, there's going to be consequences from that wrongness, right? We're going to learn something out of it. Whereas the mother goddess energy is just like, you are perfect as I created you, and go have fun, right?
Yes.
So now that we have both of these in Pisces, which is a very watery, dreamy sign, okay? And you've got the rules and restrictions being set aside, being turned on their head. The shackles are off, if you will, with Saturn being retrograde in this area of dreaminess, right? Now it's being joined by Neptune. Neptune is all about illusion and dreams and deception, right? The hidden stuff, right? And when it goes retrograde, it's showing that this planet of fantasy, dreams, and the imagination, the veil of deception is stripped away, right? So the rules have been taken off, the shackles have been released, you can go pedal to the metal now, right? And you're going to get real clear about what's true, what's so, right? And we're getting very clear about that. I saw, who was that? Somebody on TikTok today, and I can't remember her name. I think it's Star Lady Hedge, but I'm not positive. At any rate, she wears these very colorful, strangely shaped glasses. And she was talking about, especially over the last couple of days with the things coming out of the Supreme Court and all of this, and the they call it the deferment law has been annihilated, right? It used to be, if there was a chemical spill, the EPA is the expert on this, so we're going to bring in an EPA person to say how we should take care of it, and that's called the deferment or the deference law. We're going to defer to the EPA for what we should be doing for redress about this crime that has been committed in the case of the spill. Now, according to the Supreme Court, we don't have to bring in the experts anymore. The judge can be the expert, even if they have no fucking how to clean up an oil spill. Okay, but that's what our Supreme Court is doing now, right? They're consolidating the decision makers, right? Smaller government, right? Whether you agree with it or not, you have to see that there's these changes that are going on that are changing the structure of the representative democracy that we have in this country, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to tighten things up so only a few people get a say, whereas that's not how we've been running the show for the last 250 years, okay? Things are changing that way, all right? But we can see it now. We recognize it. We may not necessarily be able to do anything about it just yet, but we will by the time that Neptune moves out of this this retrograde in Pisces by December 7th. All right. So by the time there's going to, for people who have been doing the things that they're supposed to do, right, by December, there should be a huge payoff in that the dreams that you have been working on should be coming true. All right. You'll be able to see your way through this whole thing. And that's very exciting. Now, catch this too. Mercury is also trining Neptune in Pisces. Mercury in Cancer is trining Neptune retrograde in Pisces right now. So this is the time to trust your psychic senses, trust your intuition. All right. So there's where that woo comes in, that I recognize this pattern. I might sound a little crazy if I try to explain it to my friend, but take action on what your heart knows anyway. You don't have to explain it to other people. You need to trust your intuition and take action on it. And that's going to help you have those dreams come true and pay off by December 7th. All right. Now, also today, Mercury is entering Taurus. So it's going to leave Cancer, right? And it's going to enter Taurus. So we will be going from this, oh, there's my communication, so emotional and loving, or maybe it's I'm pissed off because of what the Supreme Court is doing, or I'm pissed off because of what this is going on, right? And now this Mercury entering Taurus, our communication is going to become very direct. All right. We're not going to whine and cry about it anymore. It's coming into the phase where we're just going to say what we mean. Right. And some people are out there already doing that. Yay, go you. The rest of us are kind of catching up, and we'll get there. Right. This is going to be, and that's going to be over the next 2 weeks. So we're going to be feeling a lot of, this is what's so for me. Here's my hard boundary. Cross it at your own peril.
Yeah.
Okay. And just be done with it. None of the codependent, it used to be so nice. Why can't it be that way again someday? Because the universe moves in one direction. We don't go back.
That's right.
We don't go back. Right? Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. Excellent. So that's essentially what's going on today and this coming week with the new moon in Cancer coming up and all of that. So I hope that I haven't completely confused everything that you just said.
Me? You didn't confuse it. You actually expanded and clarified more. At least that's what I think. Because sometimes I know for me, I spend a lot of time very focused on the new moon and the full moon energy. I don't necessarily think about what the rest of the planets are doing unless it's Mercury going back into retrograde. Mm-hmm. Essentially, what brings that into focus for I think any of us is because Mercury is so close to the planet Earth. When that happens, we feel the energy more intense.
Yeah,
and it affects some of us more intensely when that occurs. So,
I think that's an excellent point that you just made. Because Mercury and Venus both are interior planets to us. They're between the sun and us. And I hadn't thought about that till you just mentioned it. That the outer planets, their orbit is longer and it takes longer for them to go to house and sign to sign and so on. Mm-hmm. But we are really much more deeply impacted by the actions of Mercury and the actions of Venus.
For sure.
They're between us and the sun.
Yeah. And then, think about it. Mars is just on the other side of us. So it was really interesting. I was in Pennsylvania, as we talked about last weekend. And it was so dark. I was sitting next to my niece-in-law, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I was looking out at the stars. And you could see Mars because you can see Mars pretty clearly. If you know that that's Mars, it's easy. It's the one that looks red or flashes red. You know, it's that star. You can see it with your naked eye. You do not need a telescope. And I pointed that out to Tommy. And Tommy looks at me and she goes, "Really?" She goes, "I never knew that." And I'm like, well, it's so close to us. Of course, we can see it. But yet its energy also affects us.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why we are fascinated by Mars.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. It wasn't, and it's funny because we, especially people who camp and stuff, maybe they don't necessarily have a mentor that's like, oh, look at that in the sky kind of thing, more let's fish and grill the fish on the campfire kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah.
But we look at the sky and we notice that there's certain things going on. It wasn't until recently that I started, in the last few years anyway, right? Mm-hmm. Getting up and seeing the stars in the morning. Because at some point it happened for us just a few weeks ago. Venus, it's at such an angle from us that it goes from being an evening star where we can see right after dusk to a morning star that we see right before sunrise.
Yeah.
And
it's like it's just above the horizon, so not everybody will get to see it. It all depends. Are you in a place where there are a lot of buildings, or if it's a mountainous region? So it is cool though. When we used to run in the morning, before, because we would run right before dawn, the in-between time. And it was always wonderful because we'd get out and we'd start running, and we were running with the stars and the moon as it was turning into dawn. And so it was a really, there was this new energy to it, having that experience. It really was I thought a phenomenal time.
I think it's absolutely beautiful to run in the morning with the morning stars and all of that. But I'm really interested to find out how Apache Tears is going to woo into this, because I know.
Definitely. Let's get to it. So, Apache Tears. I happen to have mine. I knew where they were. So to give you guys, let you know what an Apache tear is, it is an obsidian. It's a little obsidian. It's not like the big obsidians that are cut into, smaller pieces and then created into tumbles. These are found like this. And they're very translucent if you hold them up to the light. And they call them Apache tears because of where they're located. And they're very abundant in territories that were once highly volcanic. And of course, it's that those little hot water droplets that were encapsulated, and they're little, not the big ones. And so and it's really kind of cool. However, when I think of Apache tears, usually the first thing I think of is grief, because they're really good for helping grief. They're great. Obsidian really is great for cutting ties or cutting energies. It's fantastic for endings. But it was, so for me, I use Apache tears because they're really good for a person who's lost somebody or lost something of meaning that they're grieving. And then I got trying to look at it a little bit differently today and look at some of the other meanings of what it is. So grieving isn't just about loss, because remember, with loss, there comes new beginnings. And with that energy, it's also about moving forward. So when I started looking at the energy of moving forward, when I started looking at the energy of balancing your emotions, and what was the other one? I was looking about assisting us to change our behaviors, which, oh, by the way, needs to happen with a lot of us in order to move forward, in order to get out of our own way, in order to be able to fulfill what it is that we're wanting to fulfill. This stone rocks at it.
Yes.
An Apache tear is really, 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 really fits so well with all the communication that we've been doing, because remember, all that communication has been not just about what we've been saying. It's also been about what we've been hearing. It's also been about how we talk to ourselves, not just others.
Right.
So right now, the Apache tear says, okay, Neptune is here. Neptune is here to help us move forward. Neptune is here to help you step into your, get out of your own way and step into what it is that your desires are, really, really to open that space up. It's the new moon. It's about independence. It's about new beginnings. Apache tear is here to say, okay, guys, now get out of your way, start anew. Remember, you have independence of self. Don't ever get into anyone else's independence, because you don't have that. Independence of self. And plant the seeds for your new beginnings. Right? So something to think about. So an element that maybe doesn't make sense, but it does. The element that it connects most with is fire.
Interesting.
I really believe, I think that's right. The chakra is your base. Okay, now you got, for those who don't know where the base is, that's below your feet. Well, it's your feet. Okay, so your root chakra is right there at the base of your spine.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your base chakra, and then you have your earth star chakra, which is under your feet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a grounding stone. In other words, it's a grounder. It is one that's going to take you and it's going to ground you, but not ground you to the point where you're stuck. And if you're really feeling like, okay, this is a little too intense for me, I need something else, grab a balancer. Maybe you need to work on not being in your own way. So you can grab a rose quartz. You can grab an aventurine. I like grabbing an aventurine for this because aventurine, if you're especially needing to get out of your own way, aventurine combined with Apache tear will open up those opportunities for you to get out of your own way.
Nice. Now, so let's highlight that. Let's highlight that. It will provide the opportunities for you to get out of your own way. It will not remove your barriers, right?
No.
It will give you an experience to choose to remove your own barriers, to get out of your own way. So, yeah, it's like when you ask for patience, God gives you opportunities to learn how to be patient.
Yeah, it may not show up as that you are suddenly a patient person. It's
right.
The opportunities, universe, I always love to express, universe has a great sense of humor.
Yes.
And sometimes you just need to go, okay. And the universe is a great lesson provider.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you need to understand, it's how I react to that. So you're going to show some pictures. Yeah, those are beautiful Apache tears right there. So you can get them. I have little ones. So this one's a little one. Mm-hmm. And I have these for grid work. These little ones.
Okay.
And then I have bigger ones right here for grieving. And now for get the hell out of your own way.
What I love about one of the things that you said that I love so much is that it's a base. Excuse me 1 second, okay?
Yeah.
It's a base, right? It's a grounding stone, but it's not an earth stone. It's a fire element stone.
Yeah.
Right. So that gives it that energy of moving out of the way.
It does. It does. It burns. And think of it this way. When you look at the way the elements work and the fact you just said somebody was in Pisces.
Yeah.
The moon is in Pisces. Is that what you do?
Well, actually, Neptune is in Pisces and Saturn is in Pisces, and they're both retrograde.
Okay. So fire and water create steam.
Fire and earth create mud. Water and earth create mud. Yeah, steam.
It creates steam. Let's go with that. So think of it as, but it's still burning away and it's steaming, even with steam. So you can open envelopes with steam, right? You can remove labels with steam. You can open your pores with steam. There are all these good things that you can do, or, interesting aspects you can do steam.
Thousands of tons of steel with steam.
Right. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do with steam. So think of that as you're playing with your letting go and moving through and creating the opportunity to plant the seed.
Yes.
Right. And planting the seed during a water sign, when there's water, is a great time to plant seeds, although you don't want it drowning. But But yeah,
but many seeds require a great deal of water to sit in the water in order to be softened enough to allow the growth within to break free.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that this is probably, again, we're letting Woo take over the conversation with what it is, how this is working and how that combines. But seriously, it's a great stone to work with. It's a common stone, not difficult to find. You can, it's not one that I have ever seen as jewelry, or patchy tears. Usually I think they deal, when it's an obsidian thing, they deal with the bigger obsidians.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, because I see a lot more, even if they're small, obsidian like arrowheads, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the extent really that you see obsidian jewelry. I think because the larger pieces that you can actually like chip into an edge, right?
Yeah.
Can be pretty brittle.
It is. Well, and because it's glass. It is a glass.
Mm-hmm. It's a naturally formed glass.
It's a naturally formed glass. Mm-hmm. And so, that's what obsidian is. But so don't think that, I can find it as a piece of jewelry. Seriously, just get yourself a nugget. You can carry it with you. I pulled these out and I've been playing with them, and I'm like, ooh, this is fun. I forgot how much
stoned on screen. She's getting stoned on screen.
I'm fondling my rocks.
I have this little wire that's wound.
Yeah.
It's like a spring thing. And so when I find pieces of stone that I want to wear as jewelry, but it's not practical as jewelry, I pop it into that because it can separate and can fit a small stone in. So if you really want to, like, long-term wear and have a piece of Apache tear, there are ways that you can do that without.
You can, but no, don't. So it's fine to work with one and not necessarily have a balancer. But to wear it, it's kind of like putting moldavite on and being like, oh, this is how I'm going to run my life, is on moldavite. Well, let me share something with you. You need a balancer.
Yeah, that's not sustainable. That's not balanced.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not balanced. That's running around in the clouds. It feels good. Well, you're doing it.
Yeah. Awesome.
But this, you'd end up being so grounded if you were wearing it around your neck. It would eventually, you'd start feeling like Frodo. In the ring, and your shoulders would droop forward, because all of a sudden it would just collapse. The energy of it will collapse because it's just it can be so intense. So I don't recommend it wearing it by itself. But if you have a cage and you want to wear it, but with something else to balance it, have at it. But don't wear it long. Great idea. Don't wear it long. Like 6 hours and then take it off.
All right. Good to know.
Yeah. That's just my sense with it. But on to you. Now let's hear it all. I have to do the 8. Okay. The number of the day is 8. Again, here it is. This is awesome. So remember, 8 is, I love the number 8. It is a great number for many reasons. In Asia, it is considered the luckiest number is 8 in variations of all 8s. But 8 is really fabulous because it is as above is so below, right? Mm-hmm. It is identical. And the energy of 8, if you just draw 8, it is a balancer. So if you're feeling a little unbalanced, here's something that you can do. I'm going to take my glasses off. This will be so much fun. There helps my focusing solution, but take your fingers. I've done this with you before, and literally just, if you're feeling a bit off, make a figure 8 around your eyes. And you'll feel like all of a sudden a release in your chest.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might open your mouth up to yawn. And feel that balance and come down. Put your hand on your heart.
Oh, that's
Inhale.
nice.
Yep, there you go. That is releasing the energy. And that is bringing yourself back into center.
Lovely.
Right? So know that with the letter or the number 8, it's about it's really about finances, and it's the auspicious number. It's all things that are positive. However, if you go about it in a not without the reciprocity, the positive side of gratitude and thanks, it also can come back to you as a knuckle buster as well. So what you project out, where your energy flows, is where your energy is going to go and how that energy is going to come back. So that's what the number 8 is here to share today. So
Lovely.
over to you.
Thank you. Well, I think pretty much we've already handled my talk for the day.
That's been happening a lot with us, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Embracing clarity and protection embracing change and protection in cosmic cycles, right? So exactly what we've been talking about so far along. We've got some changes coming up. We've got a huge change from what has been going on before, with Saturn going retrograde, Neptune going retrograde, both of them being in Pisces, the shackles being off, and the dreams are ready to be delivered, literally, for every one of us that have been doing the work. And if you're in the Coven of Joy and you've been following along for the last year, you have been doing the work, right? We've been looking at all of the different ways that we've been allowing people in our life and our energy field to stop impacting us. We have been doing the inner work in ourselves to step out of our own way, and we have been using the guidance all the way along, the planetary transits all the way along, and the stones all the way along to make that happen, right? So now is the time really to get excited about what's coming, right? Prime that pump with anticipation, gratitude, joy. So many good things are coming up, right? For example, the last couple of days, I have been so excited because this next Monday coming up, I go away to go visit my daughter in Michigan for a week. And then a couple of days ago, I just found out that my other daughter is coming to visit me for the first time. And we're going to get to go camping up in the Green Mountains, and it's going to be amazing. So I have been just floating on cloud 9 based on the future that I'm living into, right? And some of you will recognize that phrase. Some of you who may not, right? But here's the gist of it. We as human beings tend to state our present way of being based on the future that is coming up for us. Yes. All right. So if we start looking at the future as if, time to make the donuts again. God, is this all my life is for? Is it going to go on like this forever? With the media just giving us bullshit and trying to shove it down our throats, and us not having the power to go, shut the fuck up, get the hell out of here. You're lying to us. Stop it. And, you know, if you get sucked into that projected reality that the society and this planet at this time is really trying to make us believe, because they're in their death throes. They know they're on the way out, right? They're grasping hard now, right?
Yeah.
We live into that future. Oh God, I'm not even going to fucking bring up the the election coming up.
Yeah,
right?
let's not.
Right?
Not today.
That's the point, is when we start living into that future of, we have to make an undesirable choice between two demonic influences. Yeah, it's just horrible, right? That future to live into. Snap out of it. All right. There's a lot that's coming up for you, for me, for all of us individually, that has absolutely nothing to do with that projected reality they want us so hard to buy into. This is our time to keep walking forward into the age of Aquarius and anchoring that to the planet. And you can only do that by fulfilling the dreams that were put upon your heart by your creator, right? And look, we've got, I'm going to show you the notebook that you can't even read right now, but we've got, the shackles are off. The dreams are prepped, right? Into the field of Pisces, where things can right, like really take root, right? And we can move forward into knowing that we have been given all of the auspices are right, the fertilization is right, the pH balance in the soil is right for us to grow, to flourish, to bloom, and to bear fruit as our creator intended. That's the future we're living into, where I help you by being me, and you help me by being you. And fuck those ones that want to oppress and put upon us what their version of this ought to be. Because you know what? When we look at world history, this current reality is only happening for about 300-400 years among eons of life on this planet before now, right? Yep. So it's an aberration. It is an aberration to reality, this society that we purposely, or not purposely, currently live in North America, and by extension, the world.
Yeah. Yeah. You know? And there's a ripple, and there is a ripple effect that is occurring around globally for everyone. Yes. I mean, we're all feeling little bits and pieces of what's happening everywhere with everyone right now. Yes. And, you know, essentially there's a lot of fear based on what is being projected to us. I think of Batman, the movie Batman, you know, when I don't even remember which one it was, but they had that. It looks like an espresso pot that beamed out information to everybody, and it kind of blinded them. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I really think that that's the vision I'm getting with what is happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Now get this. This is really, really cool. Today's card, of course, once more, supports all of that. Everything that we've talked about today. 9 of Wands. Okay. I love this card because take a real close look at that card. He's got his wand, all right? But he's also got these wands lined up behind him, okay? And theoretically, among the tarot deck, everybody gets their own wand, right? He's got everybody's fucking wand, right? He's got everybody else's wands. He's almost done, right? Today's affirmation is, I draw on the strength and wisdom gained through past experience. All right. You are almost at the end of this process. You've got everything gathered. You can draw on the strength, the lessons that you've learned in the past, however many years for yourself, past 3 years from us here at 3 Crones in the Woo Woo, from the last year or so, since we've been stepping into the age of Aquarius. You can draw on all that wisdom and strength that we've been sharing with you to become what it is that you are supposed to be here for. All right. Now he doesn't have all of those wands in his grasp like the 10 of Wands does, where, you know, you're reaching out and you're taking on other people's responsibilities. No, that's not what this is about. You've got all of that wisdom behind you that you can draw upon to finish your task here and now. All right. So with that, I want to remind you all, it's the beginning of the month. Do your tarot pulls for the energy of this month coming up. Remember, for the energy of July, you're pulling cards for energy, love, money, work, health, and spirit. And I've been doing this every month since Krista brought it up. And some months they have, those cards have been right on the money. Some months, there's like, okay, why'd you give me that one? It didn't really, but if I look closer, it usually does. So look a little closer. But those can provide you a really good reference, and especially when at the end of the month you look back and see how it all lined up. Without fail, most 80% of everything that I've pulled has borne out, right? And you can kind of, when you're pulling it, you can kind of see based on what plans you may have for the coming month of how it will fall in line as well. So I highly encourage all of you to continue doing that. Once again, the list is energy, love, money, work, health, and spirit. All right. All right. With that, thank you so very, very much for joining us once again this week. I love you all. I love you, Krista. And thank you all who come every week and play with us and have fun with us. Safe travels, Tracy. Love you, Mama Crone. And we'll see you all again real soon. Bye.